વર્તમાને મહાવિદેહ ક્ષેત્રમાં વિચરતા તીર્થંકર ભગવાન શ્રી સિમંદર સ્વામીને અત્યંત ભક્તિપૂર્વક નમસ્કાર કરું છું. પ્રત્યક્ષ દાદા ભગવાનની સાક્ષીએ વર્તમાને મહાવિદેહ ક્ષેત્ર તથા અન્ય ક્ષેત્રોમાં વિચરતા ઓમ પરમેશ્વરી ભગવંતોને અત્યંત ભક્તિપૂર્વક નમસ્કાર કરું છું. પ્રત્યક્ષ દાદા ભગવાનની સાક્ષીએ વર્તમાને મહાવિદેહ ક્ષેત્ર તથા અન્ય ક્ષેત્રોમાં વિચરતા પંચ પરમેશ્વરી ભગવંતોને અત્યંત ભક્તિપૂર્વક નમસ્કાર કરું છું. પ્રત્યક્ષ દાદા ભગવાનની સાક્ષીએ વર્તમાને મહાવિદેહ ક્ષેત્ર તથા અન્ય ક્ષેત્રોમાં વિરાજમાન 24 તીર્થંકર ભગવંતોને અત્યંત ભક્તિપૂર્વક નમસ્કાર કરું છું. નિષ્પક્ષપાતી શાસન દેવ દેવીઓને અત્યંત ભક્તિપૂર્વક નમસ્કાર કરું છું. શાસન દેવ દેવીઓને અત્યંત ભક્તિપૂર્વક નમસ્કાર કરું છું. શ્રી કૃષ્ણ ભગવાનને અત્યંત ભક્તિપૂર્વક નમસ્કાર કરું છું. પરક્ષેત્રમાં હાલમાં વિચરતા સર્વજ્ઞ શ્રી દાદા ભગવાનને અત્યંત ભક્તિપૂર્વક નમસ્કાર કરું છું. સંકીર્તારી સર્વ સંકીર્તારી મહાત્માઓને અત્યંત भक्तिपूर्वक नमस्कार करूं છું. सारे ब्रह्मांड के समस्त जीवों के रियल स्वरूप को अत्यंत भक्तिपूर्वक नमस्कार करूं છું. रियल स्वरूपे भगवत स्वरूपे इसलिए सारे विश्व को भगवत स्वरूप से दर्शन करूं છું. रियल स्वरूपे शुद्धात्मा स्वरूप છે इसलिए सारे विश्व को शुद्धात्मा स्वरूप से दर्शन करूं છું. रियल स्वरूपे तत्व स्वरूपे इसलिए सारे विश्व को तत्व ज्ञानी કરીને દર્શન કરું છું. જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
ઓકે, વેરી ગુડ. તો હવે શૈલેષાનંદજી, જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
હા, ત્રિમંત્ર બોલાય, બાળકો વિલ ફોલો.
ત્રિમંત્ર બોલાય.
હા.
નમો વિતરાગાય, નમો અરિહંતાનમ, નમો સિદ્ધાનમ, નમો આયરિયાનમ, નમો વજ્જાયાનમ, નમો લોય સવ સાહુણમ, એસો પંચ નમુકારો, સવ પાવપણાસનો, મંગલાણંચ સૌવે સિમ, પડમમ હવૈ મંગલમ, ઓમ નમો ભગવતે વાસુદેવાય, ઓમ નમઃ શિવાય. જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
Okay, daily prayer. श्रेया.
हाँ, जय सच्चिदानंद. हे दादा भगवान, आप मुझे ऐसी शक्ति प्रदान करें कि मैं कभी भी अपनी हेल्थ को कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करूं, ताकि मेरा शरीर रूपी साधन मुझे मेरे ध्येय को यानी कि पढ़ाई में और सत्संग में हमेशा सहायक बने. मैं पढ़ाई में बिल्कुल सिंसियर रहूंगी. मैं बुरी सोबत से और कुसंग से हमेशा दूर रहूंगी. और कुछ भी हो, मेरा सत्संग कभी भी न छूटे, ऐसी परम कृपा करना. प्राप्त मन वचन काया का योग और अपनी आत्मा का उपयोग केवल परोपकार यानी जीव मात्र सेवा के लिए करूं, जो कि श्रेष्ठ मानव धर्म है. मैं हमेशा खुद के साथ और अन्य सभी लोगों के साथ के जीवन व्यवहार में विश्वास पात्र, निष्ठावान और शुद्ध बनी रहूंगी, ताकि मैं बराबर दादा भगवान के जैसे उत्कृष्ट व्यक्तित्व तथा मानवी बन पाऊं। हे दादा भगवान, मैं आगे अपने माता पिता की हर बात सुनने की संकल्प लेती हूँ और उन्हें कभी भी अहंकार से जवाब नहीं दूंगी। कृपया इस संबंध में मुझे अनंतांतरिक शक्ति प्रदान करें। जय सच्चिदानंद।
सच्चिदानंद के कुशाल।
हे दादा भगवान, मुझे पढ़ाई में समझने में दो बाधाएं अंतराय आते हैं। जो भी ऑब्स्ट्रक्शंस आते हैं उन सभी को तोड़ने का मैं दृढ़ निश्चय करता हूँ। आप ऐसी कृपा करें कि जिससे मेरे दर्शन ऊपर क्रियावन टूट जाए और दर्शन ऊपर क्रियावन टूट जाए और अभी
टैक्सी वाह।
जय सच्चिदानंद। हे दादा
ये
भगवान,
कौन बोल रहा है?
समझने में जो बाधा या अंतराय आते हैं, जो भी ऑब्स्ट्रक्शंस आते हैं, उन सभी को तोड़ने का मैं दृढ़ निश्चय करती हूँ। आप ऐसी कृपा करें कि जिससे मेरे दर्शन ऊपर के आवरण टूट जाए और मेरे पढ़ाई सही ढंग से हो। ऐसी परम शक्ति आप हमें दे। जय सच्चिदानंद।
सच्चिदानंद के अनुज।
जय सच्चिदानंद। हे दादा भगवान,
हे दादा भगवान,
हम हैं आपके बच्चे,
हम हैं आपके
हम हैं आपके बच्चे,
दिल के हैं सच्चे,
दिल के
सच्चे,
फिर भी हैं कच्चे,
फिर भी है
फिर भी है कच्चे।
कच्चे
काम करेंगे अच्छे अच्छे,
काम करेंगे अच्छे।
जय सच्चिदानंद।
Jai Sachidanand. Okay, we have another special guest today. What is your name, Toral?
My name is Tora.
Okay, how old are you, Toral?
I'm 11.
11. Okay. And you are from Ahmedabad?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, welcome. And if you can, if you know how to write on chat, if you can give your phone number, okay, then we will add you to our group, okay?
Yes.
Okay, normally if you can come every day, that's good. Monday through Friday, it is Gujarati. Saturday is Hindi and Sunday is English, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
normally give them mama's phone, mother's phone.
What?
Yeah, maybe you'll use your mommy's phone.
Yes.
Okay. Shailaeshanandji Dada, we have been talking about weaknesses.
Rabni Dada, separation prayer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. Taksiba.
जय सच्चिदानंद। हे शुद्धात्मा दादा भगवान, आप अलग हो, हितक्षिब अलग है। हे शुद्धात्मा दादा भगवान, आप रियल हो, हितक्षिब रिलेटिव है। हे शुद्धात्मा दादा भगवान, आप परमानेंट हो, हितक्षिब टेम्पररी है। जय सच्चिदानंद।
Okay. Dev.
हे शुद्धात्मा दादा भगवान, તમે જુદા છો, દેવ જુદો છે। હે શુદ્ધાત્મા દાદા ભગવાન, તમે રિયલ છો, દેવ રિલેટિવ છે। હે શુદ્ધાત્મા દાદા ભગવાન, તમે પરમેનન્ટ છો, દેવ ટેમ્પરરી છે।
Okay, Jai Satya. Toral, you can get all this information from Shreya, okay? All the prayers and all that from Shreya, okay? Okay. Okay, so Shailaeshanandji, what we've been doing, we've been identify all the 3 goals of life, the weaknesses, and the last one we did was on Gnan, and we talked about weaknesses in Satsadhan. Yes, weaknesses saying yes to Guru, prayers, and asking for Shakti from Dada Bhagwan, and 9 columns. Okay, so today they're going to talk about their Niyams, because we talked about the whole week. Aptaputra has given them a lot of input. Okay? Okay, Shreya.
Jai Sachidanand. My weakness, I have to say prayer weakness, right?
Is what?
I have to say weakness of my prayer.
No, in Sat Sadhan,
Jai
three items,
Sach-
right? Sat Sadhan, yes, to Guru, prayers, asking for Shakti, and 9 column. And which column you want to work on?
Jai Sachidanand. I want to work on column number 7 as
No, start with 1, 2, 3, Sat Sadhan. What's your niyam in Sat Sadhan?
My Niyam and Satsadhana is that I want to follow every column and want to do it regularly on weekends.
No. You're missing the point. How many Sat Sadhans you want to do every day?
I want to do full Satsadhan.
How many?
25 out of 25 Satsadhan.
Okay, that's one. Number 2, what's your niyam for telling yes to the Gurujis, and how many prayers you want to do, and how many Shaktis you want to ask?
I want to say yes to my Guru Papa because many times I don't listen to my Guru Papa, and for asking Shakti for Dada Bhagwan, I want to study regular. I want to study with full chit because I get distracted every time.
No, I'm asking you how many times you're going to ask Shakti. 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. There's only
3
3.
times.
Okay?
3 times.
Saksiba.
First, my first name for Satsatan is that I have to do 25 out of 25 Satsatan every day. My second name is for yes, that I have to say yes only with Guru Mom and Guru Dada. And for Dada, I have for Chinta, and I can do exercise. And third name for Navkarma is that I have to don't break column 1 and column 4 with my mom and my friends.
And how many times you're going to do no kalam?
I'm doing Navkarma 3 times.
3 times. Okay. Une.
Yes, Satyanarayan, my first name in Satsadhan is I want to do full 25 to 25 Satsadhan every day, and I want to not break any. I want to not miss any Satsadhan every day, and I want to do Navakalam. I do four times Navakalam in a day, and I want to focus on 5th column.
You forgot about yes, and no, and prayer. How many times you want to do prayers? How many times you Shakti? Chennai.
Jai Sachidanand. My first name is Satsadhan. I want to do 25 out of 25 Satsadhan every day. And in now column, I have to do 3 times in every day. And I want to focus in 4th column because I break it most. And I want to do prayers for in a day 10 times and ask Shakti for 5 times.
Okay. Charisma, have you thought about this? Okay. T.
Jai Sachidanand. My first name in Satsadhan is that to do 25 out of 25 Satsadhan. I often do only 10, so at least 20 Satsadhan I want to do every day. And my second name in Nokalam, I want to focus on 4th and 5th column and to do 3 times per day Nokalam. And in third name, I want to say yes only to everyone. I often say no to my father and my sister, and I want to ask 5 times Shakti in a per day, and I want to do prayers daily 3 times. Jai Satsang.
Vishal. Vishal.
Yes.
He finished already.
Oh, Darshana, he did it? Okay.
Yeah, he did that.
Dev.
Jai Satchidanand. My first niyam in Satsadhan is I have to do all the Satsadhans 25 out of 25, and in Satsadhan I have to do Nav Kalam 3 times. My second name is to say yes to Guru Mummy, and my third name is to not miss any Satsadhan.
Okay. You don't want to do prayers or Shakti? Asking Shakti? Avyay.
Jai Satchidanand. I want to do Satsadhan 25 out of 25, and in Navakalam I have to focus on 1, 3 and 5 kalam, and I will say Shakti for 3 times, and I will say prayer for 3 times, and I will say yes to Mama and Dad. Jai Satchidanand.
Okay. Aptaputra has been telling you are wholly and responsible for yourselves, okay? Keep that in mind. Deepakanji?
Yeah. Hey, Satchidanand. See, the idea of making a decision like this is whatever you decide, it eventually happens. But if you don't decide, then you cannot do it. So the purpose of making decisions like this, it really help you. It will help you remind. It will help you remind. I mean, remember that okay, you have to do all this, and by chance, if you miss, then you will do correction. So this is how these decisions help us become perfect, and that's what we want to become. Dada Bhagwan, like Dada Bhagwan. Jai Satchidanand.
Shailaeshanandji, now you can talk to children. Why you make Niyam? What are the benefits, non-benefits if you don't follow?
See, our Prakruti or the relative self, it works best when it is having niyams or the decisions with regularity. Decisions taken are, as Deepakananji said, are the first step, but it has to be followed with regularity or niyam. Otherwise, it doesn't yield the proper fruits or the complete results. Second thing, you are all deciding to do, you may be doing satsadhans and prayers and asking for energy. Now, it's better if you understand it properly, how it is benefiting us, what is the science behind that, and everything done with proper upyog, that is understanding and focus to it, heart and focus to it will really give good results. So deciding and doing it is a good thing. Understanding it properly, doing with understanding and with proper upyog or shuddha upyog, you may not know at the moment, but with proper upyog and proper hearty involvement with focus, that will give you much, much, much better results. So it's all to open out our inner treasure of knowing light, perception light, our energy, which will help us in both in relative living, that is worldly dealings, as well as going and moving towards our real self. So whenever our mind says that no, or you have to push your mind or the mind does happily, are you all happily doing all your satsadhans, prayers and asking for energy, or because you have to reply in satsang, and that's why you are doing it. Tell me, are you enjoying it? Are you getting the fruits of it, or you are just doing it? Who will tell me?
Sometimes with happily mood, but some days with some angriness and satsadhan also get.
So sometimes because you are forced to do it, you are doing it, right?
No, some days I feel it, but some days I do it with a happy only.
Yeah, some days happily and some days you are not happy, or you are just forcing or pushing yourself, right?
Yeah.
So that part you need to work upon it. The part which you are feeling that I'm pushing myself, or it is to be done compulsory, and you are not enjoying it, not getting the benefits of it, you have to work on it. You understand why is it happening, so you tell your own self why you are not enjoying or getting good fruits. So that understanding, opening out of the understanding, will work it little more scientifically for you, right?
Yeah.
Dada Bhagwan said one very good thing, that action is important, but the bhav, intent and bhav behind each action is still more important. So when would you get bhav is when you understand the things properly, right?
Yes.
Okay, Rajini Dada.
So
You
when
want
you
to
say
ask?
do the bow, what is bow? Anybody knows?
Let them express what they mean by bhav.
Right. Siva, what is bow? That what Shailash Dada was talking about.
I mean by bhav that I think that I want to do that. So it means that ये मेरा भाव था कि मुझे करना है. Like that.
Okay. Very good. Abhyay?
Bhav means we have to understand by heartily, expressly.
Yeah.
Okay. Dev?
My answer is same as Abhay.
Now you can talk to them, Shailaeshanandji.
Yeah, so bhav is very important in all these things. The Lord sees what is your bhav, means inner hearty decision with the hearty involvement. You are that. Your inner self becomes that. So that is your decision with hearty involvement. That's known as the bhav in a gross or cursory language, right? And,
So let us go ahead. So let us talk about when how is your bow when Mama or Papa says let us eat Pani-Puri, and how is your bow to when you have to go to school every day? Anybody? Siva?
Yes, so when I go to school, my bhav is happily only. Like I bhav like आज मजा आएगी स्कूल में friends के साथ भी. And sometimes when mom gives me work to do, then मुझे ऐसे ही अभाव हो जाता है.
You are an English student. Try to speak English as much as you can. Okay. Abhyay, your bow is always to watch TV, right? And not worry about Pani-Puri, right?
No. My bhav was that I was going to school. My bhav was that my bhav was happily. And when my mother said, go to eat Pani-Puri, then my bhav was happily only.
Hey, Kushi, going to school, what do you think every day morning? What bow you have? Oh, again school.
Yeah,
But
like that only.
Pani-Puri I like every day.
Yeah.
Bolo Khushi.
When I go to school, my Bhav is like, who built this school? Why I have to go?
It's true.
My Bhav is like that. And when my father take me to eat Pani-Puri, wow, we will eat 6 plates today. Like that I have.
Okay. Toral, how about you?
My bhabhi, when I go to school, it's happy. When I go to eat Pani-Puri, it's where I feel much happy.
Pune.
Jai Satsang. When I go to school, my bhav is today I will enjoy and learn more things from our teachers. And when I go to eat Pani Puri, so I think I will eat so much of Pani Puri. Yummy, yummy Pani Puri. That's my bhav.
Okay. Shailesh Dada, now you can talk to the children how their bow's working.
Yeah. So first of all, I appreciate for their honesty and openness. But anyway, Bhav is a much deeper down thing. I'll give you a couple of examples. Suppose I had a Bhav to become something like a doctor. When I was in my small town and I was seeing my doctor or general practitioner, and he was a service, means he was much service oriented. He was doing good to many poor people. So from that, it was ringing inside. So what the Bhav does is it keeps your continuously, it's in your focus, even if there may be days and years and passing by, but the things remain in your heart that, okay, I want this. And what happens is that I was not knowing which will be my college, which will be my professors, who will be my future friends, who will be my future patients. But what happens is the Bhav gets connected to the nature. And if you are consistent, sincere, serious about your Bhav, the nature will supply you the circumstantial evidences. Nature supplied me the college, professors, future patients, future staff, everything. So meaning thereby, this is the importance and value and the depth of Bhav. So that is why Dadaji said that what Bhav you will have. This, what you are describing, is a temporary phenomena of happiness or unhappiness. Bhav is a little in-depth thing where your decision is involved, where your heart is involved, your focus is involved, and you always get reminded of your Bhav or something like a fixing goal. So whatever you want to decide, Dadaji said, every morning you have to remind yourself of your decision or Bhav, whatever or whosoever, whatever you want to achieve. Remain sincere, work hard, and then pray. And mostly you should be able to achieve that with Dadaji's grace. This is about the relative living. And relative living, why we want to, somebody wants to have become an engineer, somebody doctor, somebody businessman, whatever it may be. But the inner, deeper or broader aspect of that is why I want to do that, because not only my life becomes good, but I want to be able to helpful to my parents, my family, my friends, my society, nation, and world as a whole. And for the real, our Bhav is, I want to be like Dada Bhagwan, so that I can experience my pure self, and not only I become blissful, but I become instrumental for spreading this bliss and the Dada's Jagat Kalyan Yagna, or this welfare, universal welfare movement has initiated and going on with Dada Bhagwan's grace. So that is how your inner decisions and remaining sincere and consistent about the Bhav works, right? What you have been describing is likes and dislikes of your mind or Prakruti. That's okay. Mind may or may not like something. But if you have your Bhav, you will drive your mind in the direction to achieve that Bhav or that goal. You will not listen to your mind only. At the moment, you are going by your mind, right? When mind becomes haywire, we also become haywire. Doesn't we become so? Hitakshi Ba? If the mind becomes haywire, we also become haywire. No, that's not the thing. Mind may like, mind may not like. Mind may be in mood, mind may not be in mood. But our Bhav and our focus and our goal or our decision remains there. And we keep traveling in that direction, and the nature helps. So that is why Dadaji said that the Bhave is your main asset. As long as I'm name bearer, what's independent in my command or my control is my inner decision with the hearty incessant desire or the incessant will, you can say. And when I become Shuddhatma, realize my pure self, then my Swabhav becomes my independence. So that this is how it works. And whenever we have the negative bhavs or the negative occurrences happening inside, with understanding, we always turn it. We don't sign or go with that, but change it with the proper understanding, right? Or we bring back, or we apologize, do the confession, apology, and resolution, and ask for the inner energy. So the inner energy strengthens our appropriate bhavs, asking for inner energy, and it alleviates or saves us from the unwanted or untoward bhavs. Alochana, Pratikraman, and Pratyakyan, or confession, apology, and resolution. Okay?
Okay, so we do have an example of this Bhave. There was one Mahatma's son. He was 10 years old. And Dadaji asked him, what do you want to do when you become old? He says, Dadaji, I want to go to IIT at 10 years. Who knows what is IIT? Oh,
Artificial intelligence.
what?
It's Indian Institute of Technology, very precious institute of the technology in India.
So at the age of 10 years, he wanted to go to IIT, which is the very excellent college for the students. And he did go to IIT, and he is now a very successful person. Okay, so that was a Bhave at 10 years old.
Rajini Dada, there are so many examples like this in Dadaji's presence. Dadaji used to ask the youngsters like this sitting here, what do you want to become? So somebody says, I want to become an engineer. Somebody says, I want to become a businessman or a pilot or whatever. So Dadaji said, you decide, remain sincere, do work as in whatever sincerely you can, ask for energy or pray, and my blessings will get you there. And n number of examples are there that they could achieve that, or they happen to be there. So it's a wonderful science which works there. As long as one decides, all inner energy gets channelized. The Bhave also opens the doors of inner and outer energy. It goes to nature. Nature also provides us the circumstantial evidences. The prayer helps to alleviate or remove our negative ego or the other ego. So our inner responders become open to all universal good energies. And Dadaji's blessings help to remain steadfast in our Bhave, as well as remove the inner and outer obstructions or obstacles. So this is how this is a one relative example we are taking. Similarly, it works in all walks of life. Bhaves are very powerful tool.
Okay, so I think everybody is more than 10 years old, right?
Yes.
Here, right?
Yes.
Charisma,
So
how old are you? Charisma, how old are you?
9.
9.
9.
9, no. Okay. So anybody thought what they want to do or become in the future? If you're not, we start thinking about it, okay? We'll talk about it someday.
Use the tool of your power, power of your Bhave very judiciously and appropriately.
Okay? Jai Satchidanand, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Jai Satchidanand.
Okay, adults now. So Shailaeshanandji will go to the adults.
Sure.
Let's see if we have some questions pending, or we'll have to pick up a topic to talk. Anybody has a question? Okay, then we will. Okay, Vaishali Ben is there. Very good, thank you.
Jai Satchidanand. Unmute yourself, Vaishali Ben. You are not unmuted.
Yeah, I know, I
Rajini.
didn't give, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
My question, Shailaeshanandji, is I can't remember exactly, but in one of the Aptavanis I recently read about Chinta that I actually have a screenshot. Maybe I could read it for you. It's in Gujarati and it says, "Ato jagat che, એટલે એક બાજુ એવું કહે છે કે ચિંતાથી ચતુરાઈ ઘટે. ઘટે રૂપ ગુણ જ્ઞાન અને બીજી બાજુ કહે છે કે ચિંતા ના કરે એ ખર કહેવાય, ગધેડો કહેવાય. એટલે જગત બેવ બાજુનું માર કરે. માટે એ શું કહે છે કે come to the normal. હવે કાળજી અને ચિંતામાં બહુ ફેર. કાળજી એ જાગૃતિ અને ચિંતા એ જીવ પાળ્યા કરવો. So I'm trying to understand what's the difference between કાળજી અને ચિંતા.
So first of all, Dadaji said that after you have this vision of self-realization, the Mahatmas do not have Chinta or worries. Why?
Yes.
Because Chinta or worries will be there as long as I am Shailesh. My wire is in. In other words, it's the reflection of the live ego. Because I have the ego that I am doer, I have to do it, I have to take care of everything. There is parallel anxiety or Chinta. And in Chinta, my living self, I am, is involved in it. So there is inner unrest or inner burning, whatever you can say. Why there is Chinta? Because one is ego. Another is I don't realize how the things are being done. In state of ignorance, I was not knowing how the things are happening. So I was remaining worried for almost all things. For the next moments, for the next days, for what will happen, what will not happen. So it remains ingrained inside. Even though you have everything, one is not free of burning anxieties as long as one has ignorance of who am I, and how the things are being done. If we go still subtler or deeper down, when there is anxiety or how there is anxiety, I get involved with my relative self, that is mind or reflective consciousness, intellect and ego. So if you happen to see the other correlating Aptasutras, about this Chinta or anxiety, Dadaji said, Naam dharine Chinta hoy, Swarup dharine Chinta na hoy. As long as my whole existence is I'm name bearer Shailesh, that means with ego, there is going to be worries. If I'm Swarup Dhari, I'm pure self, and Vyavasthith is doing the things, there'll be no burning inside or Chinta will stop. And one Aptasutra says that its involvement, Tanmayakar panu jyan che, tyan Chinta hoy, Tanmayakar panu na hoy, to Chinta na hoy. This is one side of the story. What is Kalgee? Kalgee is your attentive alertness. Attentive alertness. With Jagrati, you are attending to the things, you are looking at the things, but not worried who is doing, how it is being done, because you know that Vaishali has to do the best, otherwise Vyavasthith Shakti is unfolding everything. And whatever it is happening, favorable or unfavorable to the expectation or against the expectation, you just see it is happening and you remain as Shuddhatma or pure self. Even if the Vaishali is suffocated or Vaishali gets disturbed, Vaishali Ben gets disturbed, you remain separate as Shuddhatma, sometimes talking to Vaishali that why are you worrying? It is not going to be beyond Vyavasthith. Everything is Vyavasthith. So you do not burn yourself because Shuddhatma remains in a state of bliss, whatever desperate the situation may be. You and I have many examples of the self as well as others. One Mahatma shared this experience that he was in a flight and he saw that there is a fire in the wing, one of the wing of the flight, and everybody was getting panicked. The Mahatma said, I went to Shuddhatma, started doing Pratikraman and everything, that even if the time comes, let the name bearer do the Pratikraman, I remain as a Shuddhatma. So Mahatmas exactly do not have the burning worry, but they are just attentive, alert, means they are careful about the happenings in the relative part. So Kalgee is taking care of everything, remaining agile and alert, but not really feeling that what will happen or how it will happen or I am, because doer egoism, doership and ownership, both ego have been gone.
Yeah, they're gone, definitely. But the hard part that Vaishali experiences is if it's a dire situation like that where something is on fire, it's for some reason it's easier because then I know there's not a whole lot I can do. So it's easy to go into my place of seat of Siddhatma. I could go there. But it's the day-to-day things, because there's a long checklist, right? And there's, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to perform this. This is where it's easy to get caught up in the mundane stuff. And remaining separate becomes a little challenging. And so the idea of not worrying, surrendering, it becomes a little bit harder. How do you manage to see that even though it's a daily thing, it just gets done? Like, do you take a day and just experiment and see what happens, or how do you do this?
As soon as the Vaishali Ben gets up from the bed, you start talking to Vaishali Ben. Vaishali Ben, has your day started? Have you wake up on time? What would you do? Will you brush your teeth or do vidhi? So Vaishali is separate, you are separate. And then with little organization inside, upyogni gothvani jene kehvaય છે. So Vaishali Ben Vyavasthith will unfold for Vaishali Ben during the day. I am Shuddhatma, Vaishali, I am with you, Dada Bhagwan is with you. You do it in your normal pace. Above normal is fewer. So, ધીરેથી ઉતાવળ કરો. દાદાજી ગુજરાતી में he used to tell, make haste with slowness, or slowly and speedy. So both ways. So that's all Vaishali's part. So Vaishali has a habit of doing checklists, and Vaishali has a habit of running after checklists. You just be an observer and talk to Vaishali, that Vaishali, be normal. Things are going to be done. You just keep doing your role.
Sometimes I wonder, like, what is the purpose of all of this? The 5 Indriya Sukh, or all these checklists, and what am I really running after? Is it the outer happiness that I'm running after, the man or lobh, or what is it? Because there's no peace in the space of checking off the list, because sometimes you lose sleep at night because there's so much to do.
Yes, it's the Prakruti which is playing role, and the Prakruti has taken the inputs from the world around.
Yeah.
That this needs to be done like this needs to be done like this. So because of the previous beliefs, there are two things. Previous beliefs where we felt that our true purpose and our happiness lies in all these things. Yeah. And there is second part, everybody is running, so we have to run. So it's a lok sangnya which is working on it. So both these things put together. And the third most important part, what I feel is, even if we realize that, we are not yet understanding how the Vyavasthith is working. Vyavasthith is making the file one to work. We feel that I have to work, I have to take care of Vyavhar. But Dadaji said two beautiful things. Vyavhar is the one which is taking care of Vyavhar is already inside there in the relative. Even if you become Sahaj, it will keep on working, and Vyavasthith will make it work. So as I tend to understand more and more, or experience more and more, how the Vyavhar karnaro andar che Dada ke che. Not the Shuddhatma. Prakruti has its Vyavhar and a karnara sathe che. And if Vyavasthith is working, if I understand and realize and experience these two things, I tend to become Sahaj. And we can remain as Shuddhatma more and more. if I can't understand and experience or put to work Vyavasthith Shakti and how Vyavasthit is driving the relative self or Prakruti and inside and outside, then I can't remain a Shuddhatma also.
But
So
are there
that's-
any practical solutions or practical,
That's-
maybe a
that's-
trick that you could do like for a day that I want a glimpse of that?
That's what I started, Vaishali Ben. As soon as you wake up, you start talking to Vaishali. So that will, Vaishali separate you as Shuddhatma is separate, and during the day you will keep on talking to Vaishali. When the Vaishali is hurrying the things checklist, and okay, Vaishali, become normal, dhimethi utawad karo, slow down. Why are you getting so much messed up and heated up? Come to normal and the things will become better. Things will become better, so that your inside talking, the Pragna Shakti talking to Vaishali at the required points, reminding her of Vyavasthith Shakti, reminding her of how the things are happening, and Vaishali has to be there only. Baki the things are happening on its own. Vaishali just has to be there. Vaishali feels that I have to take the whole load on the head. That's not correct. That's contrary to the Gyan which Dada Bhagwan has given us. And Dada Bhagwan was just Sahaj, and he has done so much of work, 1,000 times more than what we are doing. How he could do that? Without any doership egoism, without any doership aprayatna dasamakam tricham. Because he understood that. But the trick is, you become separate from Vaishali. Let Pragna keep talking to Vaishali. Then let Pragna remind Vaishali Ben as and when and what is required. And relative and Vyavasthith Shakti, these two Agnyas will help Vaishali Ben a lot. So that's how Vaishali Ben will gradually realize and keep on happening. Just see that how the Prakruti beautifully works with the help of Vyavasthith Shakti. Allow it to work. And as such also, you are just the knowing and seeing light. In fact, your interference inside disturbs the thing. If you take out your...
Is this the same thing as ke lagam chodi devani?
Yes, but lagam chodi deva is so high a word that in what you are talking day-to-day word, how can you leave your lagam? Tell me.
Yeah.
You are so much checklist and I have to do that.
Yes,
if you can do that, best. But it's very difficult for you to lagam chodi deva in the day-to-day from where you are talking right now.
Yeah.
So it will be a result. You can do that on Sunday or a holiday, but it's not the exact meaning of that. The crux of the story is Vyavhar is unfolding, it's happening. And Vyavasthith Shakti is there to take care of everything.
So,
it's our wrong habit we are harboring since births together, which is just pinching and prompting us.
Right. So what I understand is that the first thing you do when you wake up is you talk to Vaishali and separate yourself. And throughout the day, I could remind Vaishali that this is your checklist. That's fine. Go do whatever needs to be done and watch Vaishali rather than be her and get all worked up about it. That's what I understood.
So gradually then everything will fall in its place with the help of Vyavasthith Shakti, understanding, relative and everything.
Jai Satchidanand.
And you or me, we experience that when we are normally balanced, the things appear faster, quicker and better. When I hurry up my surgery, there is some problem, some complication in one step, overall it becomes a lengthy process. I end up spending more time and end up into more hassles. So let Prakruti also come down to its optimum normality. Okay.
Jai Satchidanand.
So that's that there is an intellectual movement now going on in the world that keep less and do less. There was one movement doing more, run, checklist. Now there is a reverse movement, do less, keep less, live with less. Because the people started realizing that it is causing so much of stress and making them so much of abnormal that that's not the correct way. but we don't require any of this. We have a wonderful Gyan. Just keep like this. Anybody can share their experiences on these lines, and it's really a part of our daily living and really required.
Okay, Miraben.
Oh, Jai Satchidanand, Mahatma Ne, Jai Satchidanand, Shailaeshanandji, Aptaputra, Karanji, all, everyone. Jai Satchidanand. My question is actually regarding Vyavasthith in and of itself. Vyavasthith Shakti is supposed to take us to Keval Jnana. If we follow Vyavasthith Shakti and understand her completely, she takes us to Keval Jnana. So my question is, when Meera wakes up in the morning and Meera is doing Meera's thing and Shuddhatma is watching Meera, how can, and this again is related to Vaishali Ben's question, how can we, how shall I say this? Many times you know that you're on the right path because not Meera, but let's say on a specific day, something is happening at work or something is happening, somebody says something is happening. Meera faces all of this, but Shuddhatma sees and says, okay, Meera, you've done something, some Runa Bandh has happened with this person, you have done something, and now you need to do Pratikraman because this is why you're facing this. Okay, I understand that. Dada's Jnana has told me that. But how do I know that the Jnana is opening? How can you tell me, like, how do you feel? How does it, less worry? Is it less worry? Is that what Vyavasthith gives you? Is it less, because many times when I go through Charan Vidhi, when I read the Prata Vidhi, when I come in the mornings and read this, I feel settled. I feel like this knowledge, this Meera's life is just going to go. I just have to watch. I just have to see. I just have to do. Then I get into that moment, and then it all goes like this, and then I have to refocus. So when is it that I can just be, or when is it just that experience be? Am I making any sense? Question?
No, I understand what you are trying to.
The speech is not good to tell.
That's okay. So, Meera Ben, first it has started with a conviction, doubtless conviction, that I am pure soul self, completely free of mind, speech, body, name belonging attachments, and all karmic bonds. And you don't have even an iota of a doubt about that. So first step is the state of pratiti, or a doubtless conviction. That is a laksh, or it keeps on coming in between. Of course, it goes away for everybody, but it again does come back that no, I am the Shuddhatma, I am not Meera, I am Shuddhatma. I am the knower and seer of the thing. And the third is the state of anubhav, or the experience. Now, there are several indicators that whether you are experiencing the bliss of Shuddhatma or you are in the part of Meera.
Correct.
So experiencing the bliss or state of Shuddhatma is when you have your inner bliss, it makes you steady. Whereas at the level of mind, if you have elevations and depressions, or enjoyments or suffering at the level of mind, there is elevations and depressions. Whereas the Shuddhatma bliss makes you steady. More importantly, it's free of inner or outer happenings. You just remain separate from the happenings, good or bad, favorable or unfavorable, or inner or outer circumstances. Your mind may be in good mood, or mind may not be in good mood, but as a Shuddhatma, you can remain by yourself. And the bliss which is not coming from the five senses, the bliss objects of five senses, the bliss which is not coming from anger, greed, pride, or deceit, that means kashaya. You believe, you can safely say that it's coming from within, from the Shuddhatma state of being. Right now, you may be quite blissful from within. There is no objects of attraction for five senses. Nobody is pampering your anger, greed, pride, or deceit. Still, you are feeling happy. That's the state of bliss that is coming from your pure self or Shuddhatma state. Now, a step further, you say that the moment it comes and again it goes away. Who knew that it has come and it went away? So the understanding part needs to be still more matured. That what is going and coming is not mine. I am the knower and seer of what is coming and what is going on. So the phases, changing phases are either relative, and even in the interim government state, the awareness may be coming and going. That's fine. But me as Shuddhatma is achal. I cannot be fleeting. So I just know that, oh, this time it remained good. This time there was a lapse. It came back. It lapsed. It came back. I am that who is knowing and seeing.
That's seeing.
So conviction or the vision which you have got, the Pragna keeps you reminding that I am Shuddhatma, my properties and good dharmas are this, rest is relative, it is Mira's part, and the line of demarcation has been drawn by Jnani Purush. So as you keep on using that, you get more and more into Shuddhatma. Now, whatever you have described is sometimes the days go fine with Mira, sometimes the Mira has something topsy-turvy. All these are relative happenings, and Mira, Pragna tells Mira to do Pratikraman. Sometimes Mira does, and sometimes Mira doesn't do. That also is in a other part, and I am the knower and seer of that. Of course, Pragna has to keep reminding to bring back Mira to normalcy and to the harmony and happiness. Pragna does the job of Pratikraman and other things, but this is how it works, right? And as you progress, as you cleanse yourself from the Atikramans and Pratikramans and Chitta Shuddhi, as you use more and more Siddha Stutis, Artis, and all the means and Satsang for the purification of Chit, as the Chit becomes more and more pure, you will experience more and more of the pure self or the Shuddhatma state. It's the Chit, Shuddha Chit, which is experiencing the Shuddhatma state and the bliss and the gunas and experiences of the pure self. So one side is our Purusharth to make it more and more pure. On the other side, wherever the Chit is getting caught into Mira's part, activities or whatever, it is known as the Charitra Mohaniya. Mira may be liking, Miraben may be liking certain clothes, Miraben may be liking certain persons, may be liking certain types of houses, and when it is caught into Charitra Mohaniya, then the pure Chit or Shuddhatma sees that, okay, Shailaeshanandji, this is your weak point. You are getting caught here. Shuddha Chit. So I work on it, I see it, I ask for energy, whatever needs to be done. So that cleansing will bring back my more and more Shuddha Chit to the Shuddhatma state. And this is a journey. And the end point is where the Dadaji is standing that nothing in the world could catch his Chit. So he had no Ashuddha Chit. His Chit was totally, completely purified. And that's the state near to the absolute infinite knowledge of pure Gyan. So I hope you understand me. Okay.
No, Jai Sachidanand Shailaeshanandji. So basically, in the beginning, it is like a large sine curve, and we're trying to get equilibrium. That is where I am at. So slowly, it will be the small sine curve, and then I'll be only in equilibrium. That is what I want to get.
But what you understand by equilibrium? Equilibrium of Prakruti or equilibrium of the pure self?
Equilibrium only.
At the moment, I think what you are trying to get is equilibrium in the relative or Prakruti part. And that relative or Prakruti part is not being driven by your discharges.
Correct.
So if you keep reminding yourself that I am pure self or I am Shuddhatma, Shuddhatma by its very nature is in equilibrium.
Ah, yes.
So one who
Okay.
sees the
Okay.
loss of equilibrium is always in equilibrium.
Equilibrium.
And if you keep,
Correct.
or I keep
Okay.
trying to keep the Prakruti in equilibrium, I'll be having frustrations and disappointments.
That is absolutely correct. Oh, that Jai Sachidanand. Yes, 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 yes. I understand. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai
Thank you.
Jai Sachidanand.
Yes, Jai Sachidanand.
Amlesh bhai.
Jai Sachidanand, Deepak
Yes.
Anandji,
Jai Sachidanand.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Jai Sachidanand, Shailaeshanandji.
Oh, go
Yes,
ahead. Yeah.
go.
What's your question?
Yeah. So, this question is regarding Agna. I think this I will read because something is there in Aptaputra 10 U third that is puzzling me. So I will read that. महावीर भगवान ने दादा के छे दादा is telling,
Please, can you refer the page number, please?
please number 380
Okay.
Aptavani.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
મહાવીર ભગવાનની આજ્ઞામાં રહે તો અમુક હદ સુધી અહંકાર ઘટી શકે ખરો પણ નોર્મલ રહે. ઉપર લખે છે દાદા કે છે જ્યાં જ્ઞાની હોય ત્યાં અહંકાર જાય નહીં તો અહંકાર ન જાય. તો અહીંયા this what Dada is telling કે મહાવીર ભગવાન if you remain in the Agna of the Mahavir Bhagwan, it will go to some extent. Where you remain in the Agna of the Gnani, Ahankar will go totally. I fail to understand this.
I think there are two things. Number one, the entire conversation may have the wider reference. And when we usually read the sentences without the reference, with whom and under what circumstances the satsang had taken place, sometimes we miss its proper perspective. That is part one. Part two, if we take the present situation, what we understand Mahavir's Agnya is by our own understanding, because Mahavir is not there. When the Mahavir was there, Pratyaksha, his Agnya was taking the people to Keval Gyan. Because he was Pratyaksha, so his Diksha mantra could separate the relative and real and put a line of demarcation there. Now, if I try to understand at present Mahavir's Agnya, it is by my own relative, and I cannot become Siddhartha in absence of Mahavir. So, but because we met Dada and he's Pratyaksha for us, he could give us the self-realization or the Pratiti Lakshan Anubhav or the Kshayak Samkit, an exact line of demarcation. So probably this is the difference, because Mahavir in his time had of course, led the people to Keval Gyan. Not only Hankar, but he led. But at the present moment, if the people trying to follow Mahavir and Mahavir's Agnya, I think this is the difference.
Okay,
See,
so
he says, "Hu je chue realize thai to thai rayu." This is a very crux of the story. Ke hu je chu means I am the pure soul self. If it comes to Pratiti, Lakshan, Anubhav, then the work is over. પછી કર્મ ના બંધાય એવું ચોખ્ખું જ કહે છે. પણ by my own, it cannot be done. That's the point. So the whole reference is this.
Yeah, it is true, Shailaeshanandji. But this, as you pointed out, at the later stage, at present, the presence of the Mahavira is not there.
Yes.
and this presence of the Gnani is there.
Yes.
And one more thing, it reminds me, or this I'm able to remember that particular things, because we are telling Dada is a Khatpatiya Vitrak.
Yeah.
He is telling beyond the Vitrak. He's trying to explain, he's coming to our level and he's trying to explain that. And that's why this, whatever Dada's Gyan, whatever with the Dada Gyan, that will be more impressive, or this more realizing to us.
See, there are two things. Mahavir was absolutely Vitrak. So he won't do khatpat for you. We were there in his sabha. Most of us were there in his sabha, but because we faltered for a small points, we are just here wondering still here. Because it was a crumb mark and the Vitraks don't do khatpat for you. If you understand and if you follow properly, you are all done. If you lapse, have some, even a small lapse, you will be like us, will keep on wondering.
Right.
Dada went out of way, did khatpat for us, as well as he was empowered, instrumentally empowered with the Akram Gyan. So in Akram, by his grace, he removed our not only ignorance, but he removed our ego. He put the power of the battery of Bhav Karma 8 feet distance. So it is not only his khatpat, but in the grand scheme of Mother Nature, because he came with Akram Vignan, where Gnani's grace would walk. So that is why he used to say that you are not able to do anything, I will do for yourself. The patient has not to do anything. The surgeon has to remove the cataract and patient is bound to see. So that's the beauty of this Akram Vignan, that's the beauty of his grace, and that's the beauty of his khatpat. That is why he could guarantee us the moksha. So there are 2 points. One is absence of Mahavir. Second is Mahavir was absolutely Vitragi. Even in his presence, we are left wandering here. Even though the Gyan was full, because he won't do active khatpat for us. Whereas Dada is present, number one. Number two, he is with the all siddhis for the Akram Vignan, and he did for us.
And I think this, as you rightly pointed out, he was the instrumental.
Yes, he was instrumental.
Yes. He was the instrumental. He was the that power given by the nature.
Yes. He did not have a molecule of doership. No. He was not a doer, but he was a power so powerful that nature has given him all the powers.
He was the power was endorsed to him by the nature.
Yes.
Okay. So this is I think by this discussion only I got the reply. So initially while reading, I was not able to get this.
It has two limitations. Number one, the full reference does not come there. What he is really trying to say. And number two thing is, as I said, we need the proper understanding or explanation of everything. Because the people trying to follow the Mahavir's path even sincerely today says that one cannot reach to self-realization or something. That very much speaks about what can be achieved by Mahavir's Agna on my own in his absence. And the ultimate thing is, Charanvidhi says, Apa Karne Vishe Bija Ram ke Mahavir Achho. So from that angle, he is very much Mahavir for us. By the angle of absolute knowledge, by the angle of that moksha marg, he is Mahavir for us. I hope you are clear now.
Yes, very much clear, Shailaeshanandji. very much clear, as you rightly pointed out, that this is by this Charan Vidhi, he is as good as Mahavir in the present scenario.
For us,
For us,
please go ahead. Rajni Dada?
Hey, Sachidanand. Okay. Shaila, go ahead.
Yeah. Jai Sachidanand, Shailaeshanandji, Jai Sachidanand, Deepakanandji, Jai Sachidanand, all the Mahatmas. My question is very similar to what Meera and Vaishali had said. All the ups and downs the relative self goes through every day. Sometimes I feel it's the patterns are repeating, same thing, same problems, even the relationship, same problems. Though I do the separateness prayer every day in the morning, but still, why does the relative self keep going through the same thing, same people, same patterns? Is this something which will go by itself, or is it something which the relative, something which has to be learned? Some lesson that has to be learned.
Yes. Shall I start answering?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Shaila Ben. First, I understand that whenever there is a sticky part of the relative discharge or a Prakruti, maybe in a relation, maybe in a circumstances, maybe in a situation, during those sort of phases, we have to do more free will Purusharth to remain Shuddhatma or a separate. Sometimes it's easily we are able to remain a Shuddhatma. Sometimes we have to put more alert free will Purusharth to remain that, because the discharge is such. Number two thing, why the discharge is such, why it keeps on coming same pattern. And there is the more important part that we start with Pratikraman, but the inner depth is we have to pray Dada Bhagwan and ask Dada Bhagwan that please give me the proper knowledge light with which I can resolve this my Prakruti. I have one thing found for myself, that whenever there is effect on my relative self, it is my mistake as well as some past beliefs which is making me undergo those sort of effects, which are not consistent or in line with this Vitra, Vignan, or the natural laws and the natural system affecting my life. So what is now more required is when I pray and sit and pray Dada Bhagwan and give some time for the inner knowledge light to work on it, Dada Bhagwan's light to work on it, Pragna to work on it, it will slowly change my past beliefs of Prakruti, which is causing me these effects again and again. Simply waiting for time, simply trying to remain Shuddhatma does some job, not the full job. It is the Prakruti, which is the bundle of past beliefs and psychological and physiological effects arising out of all those past beliefs, which is troubling me at the time. I have to pray and look with the present Vitrag, Vignan or Pragna's light and the pure science light, and gradually that will change. Once my belief of disturbing or the wrong beliefs of Prakruti gets changed and in line with the present science, the effects occurring to the Prakruti will change. Even the behavior, the reactions, responses, all are based on the Prakrutic beliefs. They are not based on my present Gyan. So they will mellow down and then my present Gyan will act. For example, in certain relationships, my Prakruti, no matter how hard I try, doesn't remain comfortable. Why? Because I have those sort of opinions. I have those sort of design. I have those sort of expectations. He or she should be like this. This is good. This is bad. And no sooner that comes, the Prakruti jumps or starts giving the effects. Now the present Gnan will wash out the opinions, will wash out the expectations, will bring me to the normalcy that everybody, whatever is doing, they are not independent. Vyavasthith Shakti is making them to do. They are not the doer. And Shailesh, you get free of your designs and opinions and be equanimous to what is happening. Sambhav. So all these understandings will bring my Prakruti to a totally new state of being, bringing near to the Vitrak state of being, and my effects will go away, my avaran will cut down, then I will be able to see with this present knowledge light within and without. So the most important step is to recognize, which you are recognizing, that at certain points it keeps on coming and keeps on the station. So now your next step is you pray Dada Bhagwan, you sit, you devote some time, that this file 1 or Prakruti is, ultimately it is the file 1 or Prakruti which has to be dealt with. So this Gnan will throw that light and change your beliefs and change everything, and will make your Prakruti also to remain undisturbed, and you will allow you to remain a Shuddhatma. I hope I'm getting. Okay?
Yes, I understand it's all the grace and more prayers. Like you said, praying and then the grace will dawn.
No, praying and grace will allow you to focus on the part of Prakruti. See the Prakruti in with light of Pragna or a present Gyan. Then the Purusharth comes into picture. It will allow you to do the Purusharth with proper understanding in a proper way. Otherwise, I know that I want to correct this Prakruti, but I am not able to do that. So when I pray, when I become Shuddhatma, when I pray Dada Bhagwan to remain with me and allow me to correct the mistakes of Shailesh, then that Pragna light works on the Pudgal part or discharge part of Shailesh's Prakruti, changes the beliefs, changes the past understandings, changes, makes him free of the opinions and other things, and makes him pure or a normal.
Oh, got it. Very nice. Thank you.
Grace works only when I have the decision to do my part of Purusharth.
Okay, got it.
Whatever it was to be given by grace, he already has given. Now he said that I have empowered you, you do the Purusharth, and my grace will flow proportionately.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Jai Satchidanand. Shailaeshanandji, I have one more question. My question is, I don't know if this is a correct understanding that I have. Let's say I have a really sticky file, and although I decide ahead of time that I want to do some Bhavenika, every time I'm in the presence of this Prakruti, things get triggered inside me. Lots of kashais and anger and all of that comes up. And there's one part Buddhi says, Sambhave Nikal. So then I feel like I'm just taking it all. In American psychobabble, they say that, I let people walk all over me, that I get treated like a doormat or whatever it is, that, whatever. And one understanding is that I know this person is innocent. They're not causing me anything. Is it okay for me to set boundaries until I am calm and cool enough to handle this situation and avoid this person? Or Sambhave Nikal says, you can't avoid it. You have to deal with it. And you have to deal with it means you have to, બધું સહન કરી લેવું પડે ને જતું કરવું પડે એવું નથી ને. So what's the clarity? Is it okay to set boundaries?
See, there are two parts of the thing. One is we are working with file 1. Our file 1 means I as Shuddhatma has to work with Shailesh. You as Shuddhatma has to work with Vaishali. Rest everything is outside. That's part 1. So sticky file, you say the file is in sanjog. What is sticky is within us.
True.
So I have to work on Shailesh. You have to work with Vaishali. That all the bubbling things inside, whatever strong opinions, whatever we have been harboring for that file, has to be cleaned up from within.
inside. Yeah.
So no matter, even if one comes and tries to provoke and instigate, our mal should be so much exhausted or cleaned up that even Prakruti doesn't get turbulent. We as Shuddhatma to remain Shuddhatma. But when can we remain where our Prakruti's turbulences get pulled down? And when can it happen? When I have worked on file 1 to clear, as what I was talking previously, clear the inner opinions, inner grudges, inner doerships, whatever, and keep on doing Pratikraman from within till my own atoms and molecules become free of the effect of that person. So most important is to work within. First is, of course, we'll come to the second part of working outside, whatever you are asking, avoiding or setting boundaries. But most important is to work within, right?
Correct.
Because for file 1, we are directly having our powers. For the external things, we may or may not have powers or independence. But for seeing the file 1, we have definitely our Purusharth part. So what I would feel first is, I will focus on my file 1 so that it becomes so clean that it becomes effect-free. Effect-free means untoward effects are not ripping up with it, right? If you see all the great persons, including Dada Bhagwan, the people did came, all provocative, instigating, harassing nimits did came, but they were so cleaned up that nothing bothered them, nothing really make them shaky, nothing make them, they could remain Shuddhatma, their Prakruti also could remain equanimous. Now part 2, that if Vaishali is asking, you as Shuddhatma is saying, if Vaishali is asking, should I keep away from this person, should I set boundaries, should I do what and what not? The simple answer is, Pragna tells Vaishali, Phailono Sambhavthini Kalgee, decide to dispose files amicably with equanimity. Now the Dadaji said that if you can dispose the files just by talking or by explaining or keeping yourself away, it's fine. If you can't do that, give something and make him go away. Then, so it's your art and science, how promptly, how swiftly, and how best you can deal with that file. Only thing is, you want to become claim-free. It doesn't ask that you have to be, you are free to set your boundaries if it helps to dispose the files amicably with equanimity. If it is increasing the claim from the other side, you have to change your course. If not, you are free to do that. It's not necessary that you go and hug that file that, oh, I want to do some bhavdhinikal with you. It doesn't say that. It says, dispose the file amicably with equanimity. The outside is circumstance, but the more file is inside me. Sometimes the file may go away in 5 minutes, but I am left with the effects of 5 days. So the main file is within me, not the outside, right? So outside, depending on the situations, sometimes your family members, if they are there, you can't escape or set your boundaries or probably. But with outside, or if you can keep a distance, it's fine. But main work is to be done within.
Correct.
Right? And whatever is within gets reflected outside. I will give you 1 or 2 examples. Once a Mahatma had a court case. It happened in my presence with Dadaji. And Mahatma used to come to Dadaji's darshan and ask Dadaji, Dadaji, give me blessings so the case comes in my favor. So Dadaji said, you do Pratikraman and you do Pragna and Vidhi, and when the judge and opposite side, Vakil and lawyer and everybody is seen smiling in your chit, you will win the case or it will come in your favor. Now you understand that when can the person within him see the judge and opponent lawyer smiling? When his inside is cleaned up. So indirectly, Dadaji took him there that whatever is inside will get outside. Outside world is the echo of the inside world. we are trying to change the outside world without trying to change the world within, and that usually doesn't succeed, or there's a temporary solution. It doesn't solve the issue. So what is there, what is to be worked is to change the world within, and the outside world will change. And the rest of the measures, Pratikraman and everything will help. So 3 things will help in sticky files, I think. Number 1, see relative real Shuddhatma, ask energy from Dada Bhagwan, decide that is okay. Number 2, in your spare time, do Pratikraman. Along with add the Kalyan Bhavna for that particular file, that hey, Dada Bhagwan, hey, Simandar Swami, I pray that seeing the real self in that file, that you help and shower the blessings such that his or her relative and real welfare is accomplished. So this Kalyan Bhavna will get you free of all the negative vibes and effects occurring within you. Because Pratikraman is a harder way. Sometimes it becomes too difficult to get rid of the things, even if we do a lot of Pratikramans. Yes. But if we switch the gear to Kalyan Bhavna, the negative will go away. And I think that should help. Okay.
So what I understand is that the true work is inside of me.
Yes.
And that's where it begins. But sometimes I feel like while I'm working on my inside, I'm not ready to handle that file. No,
you can keep away. No problem.
Yeah. Okay.
You can even run away. If you are afraid, allow the Vaishali to run away to be handled later on.
Right.
But
and I could continue doing Pratikraman.
Someday you will have to be you have to develop that inner energy to be able to, not physically, but otherwise in whatever way, be able to remain steady and handle it. I'm not talking physically.
Yeah, pretty simple.
Okay.
And ultimately you are asking that whether I can run away, but it is in Vyavasthith's domain. It's not totally in our domain. Sometimes we feel that even if I want to run away, I can't.
Yes.
And sometimes even if I don't want to run away, the Vyavasthith takes away the pile. So it's ultimately the happenings are totally not in our control, but it's okay. So long as you develop your inner energy, this is okay. I'll get prepared and then come to wrestling field again.
Yes.
But believe me, these Dadaji's prayogs are excellent prayogs. If we really use them, these such moments are very far and few.
Yes.
If we really use them.
Yes.
Properly.
Okay.
Yes. I only wanted to give an example to support Vaishali Ben and to support what Shailaeshanandji is saying. And Dada's grace is amazing. I had a misunderstanding with one of my close friends who was also family when I was in my 20s. We did not speak for at least 15 years. I would see her. It would not. Every day I would do Pratikraman. Every day I pray for Dada's grace that I'm so sorry I have hurt you. I've hurt the Shuddhatma within you. Every day I would do Pratikraman to her. I tell you, she came back into my life, or in this Meera's life, and it was settled with Sambhav Nikal. It is Dada's grace only. Everything happens. Everything. Every Pratikraman that we do, that we wash. We may not see that washing, but it is there. Jai Satchidanand. Yes.
One more point to everybody and to myself also. Have we ever thought that why these sticky notes remain inside us? It's a triple thing. Most of the things are triple things. Why can't we get out of it? Because our Prakruti is not, the sticky notes are there. And Dadaji said, I had no notebook. Fast is gone. I don't keep a notebook that this happened, he did or she did. So નોંધ પોથી જ નથી કે છે અમારી પાસે. અને સ્ત્રી પ્રકૃતિ ને અહીંયા ઓળખવા જેવી છે. નોંધ બહુ રાખે. So it's a big diary, a big 25 years it will allow you to forget. But that's Prakruti, that's not me. I'm Shuddhatma. And I'm aware that this Prakruti is keeping note, and I don't want to get into that. Okay, I'm free of the notes. And that will get out of it very soon, very promptly, very effectively, very efficiently. Vaishali, I think that's an additional point which will help. Right? Our own Prakruti keeps it sticky, not the other person really which is keeping it sticky.
Jai Sachidanand. Okay, Deepakanandji.
Jai Sachidanand, Shailaeshanandji, in these last 2 weeks, and then we extended one more week, and we could not meet on these Sundays. So we were taking our family members at home into consideration, that we will see them with two viewpoints, by relative viewpoint and by real viewpoint. At the same time, wherever we have hurt them, we will do Pratikraman for them. I believe Dada Bhagwan had made us do these experiments several times. And can you share the outcome, and how do we really go about it? How does it really help us come out from the stickiness of these close relations? Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Yes, Dadaji himself said that we have been doing Pratikraman for our nearer files, family as well as whosoever are near and dear, or whomsoever we are interwoven much since many births. And in these births also we have done thousands of Pratikramans before we really became Vitrag, or free from within and from outside also. So if I look at my own journey back, from the moment we met Dada Bhagwan at the age of 18, way back in 1977. And we were fortunate that on the 4th or 5th day, there was a Aurangabad Shibir where we had the fortune of staying with Dada Bhagwan 24/7 in that environment for 6 to 7 days. And Dadaji made us to do the Samayik Pratikraman. And one was the Rubru Pratikraman in person with of the members present there, and one was sitting in a Samayik. So from that day on, Shailesh also started doing Pratikraman in a spare time, repeatedly, especially mother, father, brothers, sisters, and whatever the sticky files or whatever the files come inside. So initially, it cleared up the gross things that in a live film, whatever the gross Vyavahar had happened, and whatever where the above or below means Visham Parinam, hurting or breaking the expectations or whatever were there, they were cleaned. Then Vaishali Benit went in. Once the gross dealings were seen, it came within at the subtler level. Whatever the opinions, attachments or aversions or whatever their expectation was there, it is not to be seen whether they are right or wrong. I am involved inside it, so it's Shailesh's duty to get it cleared. So that's the Dada Bhagwan's science, that don't go into whether they are right or wrong by Vyavahar. It is your Rudanuban. You have come into that, and that's why it's your. So I kept on doing, and I had a lot of problems initially, because my mother wanted me to marry very badly. For years together, she was onto that from outside in Vyavahar. And I was to take this, and it was bothering me that why I'm hurting her. And I had discussed with Dada Bhagwan also. But over the years, consistently, I kept on doing. I kept on my behavior, what it should have been, not a reaction. And after many, many years, it's a very changed situation. So also it happened with my brother, because our personalities were way apart and there were some other factors, but gradually doing everything. At the same time, looking within me that I have no opinions, no feeling of botheration or burdens towards them, that I have to do more, I'm the eldest and that, no, nothing. So I'm keeping, so that Pratikraman is not only a gross prakriya or a gross process of asking for apology or confession. It's the process of changing your beliefs totally of the Prakruti which are ahead, which one has brought from the Lok Sanya or the Vyavhar Sanya. Now it has to go into the Gnani Sanya or the Gnan part. And the Gnan part doesn't see anybody as a receiver. It sees only what's coming to you, whether it's an extra responsibility in a worldly language, it's extra doing or not doing. There's nothing extra, nothing more doing, nothing doing for anybody. It's your own atoms and molecules, and it's unfolding of your own atoms and molecules. So kept on working, still keeping on working, and includes the everybody with whom you are more closely involved. We have to do the Pratikramans for Aptaputras within us because we are involved with each other. So that's the rule, that whatever your closer files, not only family files, but the closer files, and in Vaishali Ben's word, sticky files, whatever. In fact, I am not happy to use the word sticky for files. I see what is sticky within me. If once I say the file is sticky, there is subtle aversion, there is a subtle distance, there is a subtle negativity within the relative part, and that's very much has to be removed. So Pratikraman is totally seeing your Prakruti and clearing the beliefs, also clearing the wrong understandings, clearing the things, so much so that they should be feeling happy. Means there should be NOC, no objection certificate. There should not be any complaint or any claim or any feeling of inadequacy for us to in their hearts, right? And if you want to go one step more, look at Dada Bhagwan. He did whatever best he can do for everybody who came into his contact. So he didn't expect anything, but he did whatever best he can do relatively as well as really. And that's the ultimate way to get rid of the files or to get free of every claims or to get the NOC. And a few days before his departure from the body of A.M. Patel, he told to one person who was remaining in Seva, the ultimate theme of getting free of files is to become Prem Swarup. Unless you can become Prem Swarup for all those with whom you are interwoven in interconnected dealings, you can't really get free of the files. Ultimately, subtly. So Pratikraman starts with a gross dealings and mistakes and whatever has happened, but it goes much more inside and goes towards ultimately to what it should be with a change of vision. Not only beliefs, inner vision also. And you will say that vision is only one, relative and real. I realize that relative and real is fine, but my Prakruti has the inner discharge vision. Sometimes somebody doing wrong, but I have a soft vision, soft attitude. Sometimes somebody doing good, but I have a still, what is his or her intention, like that. So that subtle part which I have got in my atoms and molecules structure, Prakruti,
beliefs
is not vitrag. And I have to see that subtle part, why it is so, and clear up that. Then only I can become relatively, my Pratikraman will go to the proper stage or proper level, I would say.
Right. Perfect. Very good. We have time, so let us do, because this opportunity we get only on Sundays, especially for the English Worldwide Satsang. So let's do it. I'll just say the prayer for that. Just a minute. Moment. Okay. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai.
O pure soul God.
O pure soul God.
You are separate.
You are separate.
Deepakanand is separate.
Shailaeshanandji is separate.
O pure soul God.
O pure soul God.
You are real.
You are real.
Deepakanand is relative.
Shailaeshanandji is relative.
O pure soul God. you are permanent.
You, O pure soul God, you are permanent.
Deepakanand is temporary.
Shailaeshanandji is temporary.
O Dada Bhagwan,
O Dada Bhagwan,
O Lord Simandar Swami,
O Lord Simandar Swami,
please shower your infinite divine grace
please shower your infinite divine grace
and blessings on me,
and blessings on me,
so that I virtuously
so that I virtuously
use the divine knowledge light
use the divine knowledge light
of the inner pure soul God,
of inner pure soul God,
manifested through Pragna Shakti,
manifested through Pragna Shakti,
and do Samayik,
and do Samayik,
see and perceive
see and perceive
all my home relations
all my home relations
with two viewpoints
with two viewpoints
of relative and real,
of relative and real,
in my vigilant,
in my vigilance,
interim, intermediate,
interim, intermediate,
enlightened state,
enlightened state,
and also do Pratikraman,
and also do Pratikraman,
that is, apologize for all the mistakes
and apologize for all the mistakes
committed until now
committed until now
by Deepakanand with them.
by Shailaeshanand with them.
I, Deepakanand,
I, Shailaeshanand,
solemnly surrender
solemnly surrender
mind, speech, body,
mind, speech, body,
name and all name-related attachments,
name and all name-related attachments,
projected doership karma,
projected doership karmas,
inner subtle body, metaphysical karmas,
metaphysical karmas,
outer gross body,
outer gross body,
five sense karma,
five sense karmas,
unto the holy lotus feet
unto the holy lotus feet
of your divine enlightened,
of your divine enlightened,
manifested, emancipated, perpetual pure soul, Dada Bhagwan, the supreme Godhood state.
the supreme Godhood state.
I am pure soul.
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 I am pure soul as Dada Bhagwan.
I am pure soul as Dada Bhagwan.
I am pure soul as Simandar Swami.
I am pure soul as Simandar Swami.
I am pure soul as Lord Mahavira.
I am pure soul as Lord Mahavira.
I am pure soul as Lord Krishna.
I am pure soul as Lord Krishna.
I am pure soul as Lord Shiva.
I am pure soul as Lord Shiva.
I am pure soul.
I am pure soul.
Jai Sachidanand, 10 minutes. Jai Sachidanand.
Yes.
See, this way it is very easy, step by step, one by one. You take each and every home relation and do Pratikraman, because when we are together, even small things matter the most, and things get back, they get accumulated. And that's how relations get strained, and it has got strained these years, or not these years. So now nothing new is happening, but the old thing which has piled up, we take it gradually one by one and cleanse them, cleanse our body self through Pratikraman. Hearty Pratikraman. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand, with this we close this session. Dr. Shailaeshanandji, please say Pratikraman. Shaila,
Trimantra.
Mira, please follow the Trimantra.
Namo Vitragaya.
Namo Vitragaya.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Vasayanam.
Namo Vasayanam.
Namo Loye Sawa Sahunam.
Namo Loye Savva Sahunam.
Eso Panchanamukaro.
Eso Panchanamukaro.
Savva Pavapanasano.
Savva Pavapanasano.
Mangalanam cha Sauvesim.
Mangalanam cha Savvesim.
Padmam Havai Mangalam.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Tomorrow's program, morning 6:30, we have morning prayers. 10:15, Gujarati Satsang. Afternoon 3 p.m., we will have Hindi Satsang. Afternoon, evening 4:30 p.m., we will have Kirtan Bhakti and Aartis. Again, 9 p.m., we will declare the subject tomorrow, because we are closing the subject of doing Pratikraman for the home relations. Again, we will meet tomorrow, Worldwide Satsang 9 p.m. That will be in Gujarati. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai
Jai
Sachidanand.
Sachidanand.